sometimes when you don't have the growth and progression in this area of your life vocationally, you may want to consider changing what you're doing. And I don't want to get all religious about this. And I want to share my testimony and my story and my struggles of growth with you. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to get down to the nitty-gritty. Let's talk about men in transit. And what I mean by men in transit, understanding that you are in a constant state of motion. You should always be moving towards something, creating something. And that's the whole purpose of the word kingdom, is to use your gift to benefit not only your life, but also to benefit your community. Men have a great responsibility to lead by example. They have a great responsibility to help others around them grow. Your influence is very paramount in the direction of life. And what I mean by in the direction of life is that every day that you get up, it's a new journey. I mean, and some days you fail, and some days you have successes, but you can't quit knowing that you're leading other people somewhere else. And people say, well, why KDC? What does that stand for? And KDC simply means Kingdom Development Center. And it's on the move, and that means that life is always changing. You think about how the early church happened. The early church moved from house to house, and in the early church, took in consideration the word ecclesia, and it simply meant a gathering. And God came through Jesus to bring us freedom. He didn't want us to be all tied up into religious rituals and thinking that's how we're supposed to live. And he said his yoke is easy and his burden is light. And sometimes he also said he come to earth to be a protocol on how we're supposed to live life. People also questioned Jesus about who he was as a man. And he always asked them, who do you say I am? Because he was not so concerned about people and what their thought. He knew who he was, and it came across sometimes as being arrogant, but he knew his direction. He came to fulfill a purpose, and he even walked to his own death. He didn't run from his death. After he fulfilled his purpose, he went to the cross willingly, And we have to say the same thing or do the same thing when it comes to our community. Sometimes you got to sacrifice yourself for the benefit of your community. And I'm not talking about a physical death, but sometimes you got to put yourself out there and be willing to take ridicule and ostracism to generate a sense of belongingness in your community where you actually promote the health of others. Thank you for tuning in.